Oh yeah, what's going on YouTube? Nick here. Thanks for coming by to the channel. The 11 things I wish I knew before driving for Uber and Lyft. If you're a hustler, you definitely need to be subscribed to this channel. You definitely need to be here. This channel is all about the rideshare hustle, about making more money, becoming a better driver, giving you all the best tips and strategies on YouTube today. Better than anybody out there. You're gonna learn the best tips and strategies right here on YouTube. The 11 things I wish I knew before driving for Uber and Lyft. Now, I've been an Uber driver and a Lyft driver for 2 years now, and I've given over 5,000 rides. That's 5,000, over 5,000 and counting every day. It's like ticking up. With that being said, I do have some things that I wish I knew before I started driving. And the reason I want to tell you this is so you know too. Okay, number one, this is the hugest thing I wish I knew before I became a driver or when I first started driving. This is probably the biggest thing. Uber and Lyft both pay referral bonuses. So as soon as you sign up to be an Uber partner or a Lyft driver partner, you have the option to, share your link, and refer new drivers. So if somebody uses your link and signs up to drive, you're going to get a bonus. Now that's easy money. I mean, I say it's easy money. It's another thing when, to have people sign up that want to drive. So you got to find people that want to drive. You have them use their link. They sign up. They have to drive. They have to do like 100 rides. For Uber, it's like 100 rides. For Lyft, it's 150 rides. And I just wish I knew this and I started using this in the beginning, because I do use my link now. It's actually in the description. So if you want to become a driver, I would really appreciate it if you use my link down below. If you use my link and sign up and drive, I will be here to be your personal coach. That's something I wish that I had. I wish I had a personal coach. I think one of the first thing I wish I knew before becoming an Uber Lyft driver is that I needed a mentor. I needed somebody to follow, somebody to learn from before I started driving, so I could learn the best tips and strategies to make the most money, to be the best driver that I can. Basically went out there and learned everything on my own. And the best way for you to get a mentor, you can just watch YouTube videos. There's plenty of videos out there online. There's plenty of Uber tubers is what they call them. And I mean, some of them have a lot of fluff, there's a lot of fluff on some of these videos. But like I said, I've been a driver for over 2 years. I've given over 5,000 rides, and I'm here to mentor you. So if you want a mentor and you want to become a driver, definitely use my link in the description below. I will definitely be here to mentor you. I'll give you my phone number. You can direct message me on Instagram or Facebook, and I'm here to coach you. I'm here to share all my strategies, all my tips, everything I can to help you have a very, very successful start. Number 2. Referral bonuses. Okay, so if you use my link, I'm going to get a referral bonus, for you to start driving. Now, I don't get that bonus unless you complete your drives, which is why also that I want to mentor you, right? So, and I wish I started using my link earlier on. I wish I started promoting driving for Uber and driving for Lyft earlier on, because I could have made a lot more money, or at least had the potential to earn a lot more money. In the beginning. I think I waited way too long. To make this happen. And I think that's like the first thing I should have done when I started out. I think that would have propelled me into a much better start and career for driving with Uber and driving with Lyft. Number 2, don't use your own car right away, because Uber and Lyft both have a rental car program, which I think is fantastic. And the reason I like it so much is because it really identifies how much your cost will be when you start driving your car. So when I first started driving, I had a different car than this one. It wasn't this car. I do drive this car now, but I had a totally different car before. And the car that I had before was a used car, older used car. It was 2001 Acura TL. I started driving UberX and Lyft economy modes. It had like 200,000 miles on it already. And I experienced a ton of expenses with having to repair my car in the beginning. And that really sucked. And so I never knew what the cost was going to be, even though generally it was like $500 every time I brought it to the shop. I like having my fixed costs. So now I have this car, and it's a newer car. It cost me, my payment is like $660. But some of you might be thinking that's a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. But I can make that payment easily in a weekend. In one weekend, I can get the money I need for this. A lot of times I can do it in one day. I can do it in a Saturday. If I pull like a 12 to 14 hour shift on a Saturday, I can definitely do it. I've done it before. I mean, my best day ever was like a $730 day, but that was like on the night before Thanksgiving. But I think my record for just like normal business on a Saturday was like $630, minus the tolls. So I mean, it was probably like $600 was probably my best day. So definitely keep that in mind. If you have like a if you have a POS car, and you start driving Uber and Lyft, you have a very good chance of that car just kind of like crap in the bed on you, and then you're kind of asked out, and then you have to spend a lot of money to get another car or to get it fixed. So when you do the rental program with Uber and Lyft, it's a really good program. You get unlimited miles. So I think that's the way to go if you want to start driving. If you have a good car, go ahead and use it if it's newer, especially if you have like a minivan, so you can have like 6 passengers, you can do XL. You'll make a lot more money than you will in economy modes and Uber X mode. And then also, like, there's other cars too that qualify for Lyft Lux. I always put the link is in the description to see what cars qualify for Lyft Lux and Lux Black. You can definitely earn a lot more money with those cars, but markets will vary. So determine if your market will have like Lux and Black and Uber Select and things like that. But here's a little tip: the way to check what your market has, download the Uber passenger app and the Lyft passenger app, open it up and see what types of rides you can select. If you can select Lux, if you can select Lux Black, if you can get Uber Select, if those are there, then you can definitely get those cars and start driving and making money in your market with those cars. If you have a piece of crap car, don't use it. You're asking for trouble. You're asking for extra expenses. Use the rental program until you can buy like a decent used car. And then when you have a decent used car, use that. It's a cash flow thing, right? Your car is your business asset. Like, I was a carpenter before I started driving for Uber and Lyft. So as a carpenter, I had tools, and those tools, I use those tools to make me money. So that's what your car is. As an Uber and Lyft driver, your car is a tool. It's your business tool. It's something that's there to help you make money. If you have a nicer vehicle, you can make more money with it. But they have to qualify for the better categories, right? So make sure if you're going to purchase a used vehicle that your vehicle qualifies for those higher categories: Uber Select, Lyft Lux, Lyft Lux Black, Uber and Lyft XL, okay? Just make sure. Link is in the description for Lyft. As far as Uber goes, you can always check on the website. I'm sorry, I don't have that link in there. Or maybe I will by the time I put this video up. Number 3, how much money can I make? I didn't know how much money I could make. I just went out blind. I don't even remember if I checked online to see if it was. I definitely didn't get my bonus guarantee when I signed up. So definitely do that. Link in the description below. I didn't know how much money I was going to make, and I didn't know how to compare, right? So I would go out and I would drive. I would make, I think like my first week, I did like $600 to $800. Full time, which is not very good, especially in Boston. So I didn't know how to catch the surges. I didn't know what bonuses were going to be available. I just didn't have the strategies down. And now that I do, and I learned everything, and there's definitely more people online that will give you tips and strategies. If you watch my videos, you can go to my channel page. You can look at my videos. You can type in Uber driver pay or Uber pay or Lyft driver pay. I have so many videos where I share the kind of pay that I made. Go on my channel page and search that, and you'll see how much that you can make. Other than that, try and look for someone in your area to get a more accurate feel of how much you should be making, or what people are making in your area. Go online. If you're in another city, like say Philadelphia, type in Uber driver pay Philadelphia, or Lyft driver pay Philadelphia, or wherever you live. So do that so you can really see how much money you can potentially make. This is number 4. So food. Look, I got it right here. I got my bottle. I always have water in it. I'm always putting water in there. Always have water with you to go. Try and take it from home so you're not wasting money buying bottles out. I do that. I do buy bottles at the convenience store, bottles of water, but I don't like to. It's only when I'm in a tough situation or I'm out of water. If I don't have any water left in this bad boy right here. Speaking of water, I could really use some. And then also, like, Gatorade's really good. So there's sugar in there, there's carbs. It helps you keep going. That's going to help give you the energy to keep driving when you're pulling those late nights. Snacks, like trail mix or a protein bar, something like that that's easy. It's not, like, super messy, and it's not a whole lot going on with it. Easy to eat, easy to clean up. But definitely don't do like, don't do sandwiches, don't do soups, anything that's gonna like put crumbs everywhere, potentially to spill. I was going against my own advice. I was out the other night. I got a slice of pizza, which is fine, and then I got a cup of soup, a homemade cup of soup. It was in the cup. It was even in a bag. I didn't have a chance to eat it, and honestly, I wasn't really hungry after I had that slice of pizza. And then the soup container, like the top, like because of the heat and the soup, it just like fell apart, and then so my soup was spilling all over the place. It was such a mess and such a hassle, so don't do it. Protein bars, trail mix, some gum's really good. You can actually write off the gum as an expense on your taxes at the end of the year. So any gum that you buy throughout the year as an Uber driver or as a Lyft driver, you can write off. So that's really good too. Bathroom breaks. Here is the deal. If you don't live in an area where you can do easy bathroom breaks, you're gonna be hurting. And for guys, this is why the Gatorade bottle comes in so handy. So I always have a Gatorade bottle, the 32-ounce Gatorade bottle, and it makes it really handy because for us guys, we can just kind of like, whip it out and pee in the bottle, and then you're good. So yeah. Moving on. So number 6. Another thing I wish I knew is the long hours. I do put long hours in. It's not always low pay. A lot of times I make a lot of money, especially when you work at the prime times. You can make some really good money driving for Uber and driving for Lyft. But I didn't realize how much of a grind it can be as a full-time driver. Honestly, I can't wait till I can drive part-time, because full-time it's not the way to go, guys. Just take it from me. I've been driving for over 2 years full time, and I'm hurting. I just don't want to do it full time anymore. You get burnt out and the really long hours. So I'd rather see you be a part-time driver. As a part-time driver, it should be supplementary income, and you should be doing outside your full-time job. I'm doing this, and I'm trying to build an internet marketing business. I can be around for my daughter very conveniently. I can turn on and off whenever I want. If she's sick, I can go get her at daycare and bring her home, and I can make up the hours another time. Which brings us to number 7, strategic times to drive. I feel like I want to get closer to you guys, so I'm going to bring this up here and get a little closer to you. So strategic times to drive is very important. I wish I knew this in the beginning. Definitely, if you're going to be a new driver and you are trying to figure out what times to drive, well, first of all, here's the thing. You got to do the time that works for you, best for you. I wouldn't adjust your schedule so much. I wouldn't go out of your way to move your schedule around so you can drive at a certain time to try and catch a surge. It's just not the way to go. Do it around your schedule. And if you're lucky enough to be around the surges and the bonus zones when you're out there driving, then good for you. So, but pick those times. Like, so if you work a 9 to 5 and you need some time, to make extra money, I would plan on doing like 1 or 2 rides in the morning on the way to work. You can actually use the destination mode from your house to work. You can set the destination for your work, and that way you'll only get rides to work. Okay. So that's a really efficient way to use your time. It's a really strategic move. And after work, so you can do the same thing. You can set the destination back to your house from work, and then you can make money on the way home, which is really good too, because those are high demand times, and during those high demand times you can catch surges, you can catch bonuses, and it really works out for you on your schedule. Look for surge times while you're on the app. Pay attention to the app and look, like, when is it surging? Is it happening? Look for patterns. Definitely look for patterns. I always look for patterns. I know the patterns in my area. I know what they look like. I know when I can expect. Very typically, certain areas are going to surge, and I know how much they're going to surge to. So I would, definitely do that. Definitely pay attention to the app. Pick your strategic times and hit those surge zones. Okay. Number 8, tracking miles and expenses. Definitely don't need to track your miles. And this is my biggest pet peeve for anybody out there on YouTube talking about tracking your miles. You do need to track it, but there's this really cool app called Uber and this really cool app called Lyft. So when you're using them, they are tracking your miles. And at the end of the year, tax time, which it is right now, they are going to send you a form with all the miles that you drove while on the app. You don't have to be, it's not a matter of driving while giving a ride to somebody. As long as you're on the app, and listen to me on this is like such a pet peeve. And honestly, if you hear anybody say you need to track your miles on an app separate from Uber and separate from Lyft, do not listen to them, unsubscribe from them, and get away from them as fast as possible, because they don't know what they're talking about. Here's the deal. Uber and Lyft are both tracking your miles while you're on the app. Whether you have a passenger in the car or not, total miles while driving while on the app, logged in. So I could drive to the store on the app, and guess what? I can write off those miles too. Why? Because I'm ready, willing, and waiting to go for a ride. And just because I didn't get a ride while I went to the store, well, that's not my problem. I can still write those miles off. So Uber and Lyft are both going to send you, the total miles driven at the end of the year. They're going to give it to you in a tax form, and all you have to do is take those miles and log it into TurboTax. I highly suggest that you use TurboTax when you log your miles. The only thing that you have to do, okay, I've been doing my own taxes for like 20 years. The main thing that you have to do, the IRS wants to know when you started driving for Uber and Lyft at the beginning of the year, whatever year you're filing for, what was your miles at the beginning of the year, and then what are your miles at the end of the year, okay? So that's the only two things that you have to track with your taxes, and then the rest of it you can just load up your miles that Uber and Lyft are both going to give you. Boom, done. Like I said, don't listen to anybody else. That is the only advice you need to know, okay? That's it. So, but your expenses, right? So we talked about like your gum. So you can track expenses. There's going to be a lot of expenses, right? And there's going to be two ways that you track your expenses. You can either write off your miles, or you can write off your total expenses, meaning your gas, your maintenance, any repairs. Here's my philosophy on this, and I think this is pretty good. As a full-time driver, write off your miles. Okay, and that should be very accurate. If you have more expenses than the miles you drive as a full-time driver, you got a problem. Your car is an issue. It's a liability to your business, and you need to get a different car. As a part-time driver who doesn't drive as many miles, it is a good idea to track all your expenses, your gas, your maintenance, your repairs, and things like that. There is an awesome tax video. I did an awesome video on taxes. The link will be in the description. The card's going to be up here somewhere. So definitely click on it if you want to see more about taxes. It is tax time. Definitely check that out. I use QuickBooks Self-Employed to track my expenses. It is freaking awesome. It is the best way to go. Do it every week. All you have to do is you log in real quick. It's going to give you a list of all your transactions that happen on your card, your debit card, your credit card, whatever you load up in there, and then you use that. You can designate what the expenses are. All right, it's so convenient. It's so easy. The link is in the description. You're gonna get, if you use that link, you're gonna get like 30% off of QuickBooks. Yes, you have to pay for it, but it's so worth it, guys. It's so worth it. So at the end of the year, you have all your expenses right there. All right, it's right there, and you don't have to worry about it. It's all there, digitized. Okay. Number 9, exit strategy. What are you gonna do as an Uber and Lyft driver? What are you gonna do? Are you going to drive it for Uber and Lyft for your entire life? No, I hope not. I really hope that you're not. If you are, it's your prerogative, whatever you want to do. But what I think you should do is get out of driving for Uber and Lyft. Have a plan, have an exit strategy. I want to be an internet marketer. That's my plan. That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm building on. And that's going to be my exit strategy. You can also become a professional driver, and that is definitely an option. And I think if you want to drive forever for the rest of your life, you should definitely look into becoming a professional driver. Get your livery license, your TLC license, TNC license, Transportation Network Company license. They're different in every state, but basically the same. Go online to your DMV and look and do a search. Do a Google search and figure it out. How you have to do that. It's not too hard. You basically just fill out a form, pay a fee, and that's it. And then you have to get commercial insurance, and then also do some marketing. Oh, the other thing I wish I knew, how good networking is. So you can definitely network. Networking with your passengers is a great way to go. I've gotten repeat business. That's one of my favorite things to do, networking. But I also learn about the city. I learn things that are going on in business and industry. I learn so many things about the city. And it's really good to just talk to other people. Being an Uber driver or Lyft driver is a really lonely kind of job. And it's just nice to be able to talk to other people and learn about them and see what's going on with them. So don't forget to network. And you can never know what kind of business opportunities you're going to find. I've definitely talked to different people about different sales jobs. I was thinking about getting into sales because I do like sales and marketing and I study it, but I just haven't acted on it yet. But I do meet a lot of people that tell me about their sales jobs, and I love talking to them and hearing about what's going on. Number 11, here's a bonus, or the last one, number 11, how to maximize your tips. All right, so I wish I always did this from day one. I wish that I always was concentrated on maximizing my tips, trying to extract as much money as possible from every passenger, because Uber and Lyft are both going to take away money. They're going to take away so much money. I've seen 2 or 3 rate cuts since I started driving. And A really good way to counteract that, or to like make up the difference, is to maximize your tips. And how do you do that? You ask, you have to connect with your passengers. You have to talk to them. Now listen, it's not going to happen on every passenger, but you should be practicing this, and you should be learning and honing your skills how to extract the most money as possible. You're going to get more money in tips. That's what we're here for. We're here to make money. So I want to make sure you make good money while you're driving, getting tips. The best way to do that is to ask about them. Now, I give a lot of tips and training on how to talk to your passengers. If you're having trouble with that, guys, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you check out my channel page and do a search on there. You can check out videos where I teach you how and the top questions to ask your passengers, to learn about them, to make them feel good. If you make your passengers feel good, if you make them feel like, if they feel important, they are like 10 times more likely to leave you a tip. And I want to see you get your tips. There's certain questions that I ask all my passengers to try just uncover their passions, who they are, what they do, what life is like for them. If you can do that, if you can get somebody to open up, they will almost always give you a nice tip. Guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. I was a full-time carpenter. I had so many tools. I decided to leave that because I was in a weird situation. I had to, my daughter was born, and then I split up with the mother. So then I was a single dad, and on the days that I had my daughter, I had to get her to daycare for 7 a.m. I'm sorry, I had to get her to daycare before 7 a.m. and then drive into the city to start working for 7 a.m. and it just didn't work, which is kind of the reason I started driving for Uber and Lyft. But that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm trying to say is